Have you been avoiding the layered die-cut florals craze? Oh boy, me too. Let's dive in. Hey crafty people, it's Tasha. Welcome back to my channel. If you like this video then please do give it a thumbs up, and if you're not subscribed I would love it if you would please consider it. So I've got the newest Craft-A-Flower from Altenew. This one is the Peruvian Lily. I am guest designing for them this month, and this is the first time that I've tried to use one of these Craft-A-Flowers. If I'm honest, I think I've been a little bit intimidated. I thought they'd be too fiddly, that I wouldn't be able to line them up very well, that they would be difficult because of the dexterity issues that I suffer from. But I decided to give it a go, and I thought that you might like to see how it went, especially if you've been avoiding them for any similar reasons. So I decided to cut all of the pieces out from £110 Nina. So this is going to be a sturdy flower once it's all laid up. I cut it all from white so that I could just see where each of the pieces go and get a feel for what colour they should be. I just thought that was the easiest way to do it. And also I knew then that I could use the Altenew inks and get really good colour coordination through the layers of the flower. So there's a layering guide on the pack, so I'll keep showing you that throughout as and when I layer pieces on top of each other. So there's a solid area that is the base for it really, and you're just going to see that colour through those little holes in the other layers. So I just coloured that black with an alcohol marker. The next layer, you've got your lightest layer here. This is going to become the highlights of your flower. So I decided to start on ink number 2, because I end up with one darker flower and one lighter flower, and I'm just ink blending all over it. So I'm using my large blending tool and the Seashore inks, and I'm going to add a pop of pink from the Cherry Blossom ink family, and I really love these teals and pinks together. It's definitely a favourite of mine. When you're ink blending with dye ink, you're going to get a sort of mottled look. If you can see that there, I'm just showing you. I'm going to set that aside and then we'll have a look at it in a little bit and see whether it's any better. I want to show you that that you do just need to trust that it will be okay. I know that it might look like a hot mess at first, but it'll get there. So moving on to the next layer, I'm going to move on to the next ink. So we're now on number 3, and I'm just going to just blend the ink all over this. I have sped up the ink blending portions a lot because it does take a while to ink blend this many pieces, but I wanted to show the process of how I pick the layers out and the colours that they should be. The layering guide that's on the packet really is so helpful, and also this particular one is an awesome flower to start this sort of technique with, I think, because every single one of the main pieces, is it like the flute of the flower, like the base, all of that, they just sit on top of each other. It's all exactly the same, so it's super easy to get the first few layers in place. So I'm going to pull back that one that we did earlier, and can you see how much smoother that is? So when you are ink blending with dye inks, you do just need to bear in mind that it takes a little while for the paper, I don't know. It takes a little while for the ink to dry inside the fibres of the paper. That's what I was trying to say. So as that does dry, it is going to soften and smooth out, and you end up with a beautiful, just gorgeous coloured piece. So that tiny little piece there I've done with the darkest. Then I'm going to move on to the I want to say stamen bits. I don't know if that's right though. I genuinely don't know. But there's this little piece that I knew I wanted to have the same colour as the flower, and then I'm going to do next the two little accent pieces of colour on the leaf. So as I said, I'm choosing to use the cherry blossom family for that, and I think I did both of them in Rubellite for this darker flower. I do just love the way that those two colours go together. Awesome. So next up we're going to do that piece. I'm really bad with flowers, like I don't know what each thing's called, but this is like the, I want to say polleny bits at the end of the stamen, but I don't know if that makes sense. So you get the whole piece, and I just blended all of it so that it was all covered, and then that other piece from before that's just sitting up there next to the pink pieces, those are like the stamen pokey things, my goodness, and they just sit on top of the one that I've done yellow, so that you can just see the polleny bits in yellow poking out. So here I'm trying to decide what colour to do my leaves, and the easiest way that I've got to actually choose which ones to use is to just grab my swatches out, and I had a couple of possibilities for the green ink family, but as you saw there, one did look terrible. I really didn't like the tropical garden next to it, so I went with Green Meadows. Again, I've done one lighter and two darker leaves, so I'm going to have my two flowers and I want to accent that with 3 leaves. So I moved on to use a sponge blender for that bit. So next up, I've got all the pieces coloured, and now I'm going to glue them on top of each other. So the top half of the packaging there shows you which colours you need to make each separate piece, and then the lower half of that packaging shows you which pieces go on top of each other, which order they should go in, and it's just really, really easy. It really is. So I've just added dots of glue across the back of everything. If there's quite a lot of glue, then I do just tap it off onto some scratch paper, because I don't want the glue to come squidging out the sides of each piece. The other reason this one's really easy to layer up as well is because of those holes, these little pink accents. It's so easy to line them up where they need to go, because you just line them up by the holes that are on the leaf, and there you can see you just get that black just poking out a little bit through those little dots. Here you can also see what I was trying to explain with the stamen thing going on top of the yellow bit, so that you've just got the yellow ends pollen things. Oh my gosh, it makes no sense. I promise that it was a lot easier for me to do than it is for me to actually figure out what different parts of the flower are called. I just sort of, in my mind, I just kept calling them different shapes and different things, the pointy bit. So, yeah. Then this is a little weird strip piece, and that just sits across there to be the highlight of the petal that would be closest to you. And this piece just helps it to look 3D. I really think that just sort of brings it all together. And oh yeah, I just really, really love how this worked, and I was really excited. And as soon as I'd done this one, I had to make another card with it, and that will be coming up later in the month. So I added the stamens here. Again, really easy to line those up because there's a flat edge to them, and they just literally sit against the little petal flap that you've got. The leaves are super easy to line up. You can just, basically what you need to do whenever you're using any of these, you want to look for the points that should line up. so it will show you on the layering guide which points you need to look for. So on the leaves, it's each end of the leaf completely line up together, and that gives you the beautiful leaf. And I love how that looks. So now I've got my 3 leaves, I've got that flower, and then I also did a lighter one at the same time, but there was no point me showing you doing both of them because that would take forever. So I'm going to lay them up like this. I wanted a dark one to go behind as if it was in sort of shadow. I stamped out a sentiment from Hello Hydrangea in obsidian, and I embossed it with clear embossing powder. For the background, I wanted something subtle but not just plain, so I just got a panel of £80 Nina and I ran it through with the new 3D embossing folder waffle diamonds. I just love having a really subtle but geometric background against florals. It's awesome. So I decided how I wanted them all to go, and then apparently I decided that there wasn't enough dimension in these 2 huge flowers, so I decided to pop some up, and in parts I've actually got it like double layer of the foam. So I mean, this card, she's thick. She's thick. It's definitely a hand deliver only card. Potentially just something that would go in a box frame because it is really deep. But I'm really happy with how it turned out, and I'm really glad that I tried these Craft-A-Flower, and I don't know if I would have done on my own. So it was nice to have that little bit of a push to go out of my comfort zone. So I urge you to give them a go if you haven't already. If you have any questions or anything about them, then reach out. I would love to help. So there is you can see how thick it is. There is my finished piece. I love it. So there is a blog hop going on for the release of the new Craft-A-Flower, so if you head over to my blog, the link is in the description below, you'll be able to see all the details for the giveaway and who you need to hop along to next. I hope that you like the card. Let me know what you think. I think it's less a card, more an art piece. But yeah, I absolutely love it. I hope that you have a lovely, happy, safe, wonderful week. Stay crafty. Bye.